Crisis Report. It is good to see you, or see your text in the chat. Today is March 26th, 2025, and we are going to be talking all about it. I don't even know what to call this one yet. Thinking something like Tex and Greenland and Palmyra. We're going to be talking about the bases in Turkey, Syria, taken over by Turkey. We're going to be talking about the visit to Greenland. We're going to be talking about all kinds of stuff. By the way, I got a new mic, so give me a 5x5 if this is working for you, and we're going to get started. Thanks for being here on the Crisis Report, the most comprehensive news on YouTube. Make sure you hit the buttons and stuff. We switched everything up, so that means the views have gone down. And I don't know if you've heard the grumblings on the other channels. The Tube, Borg, whatever you want to call it, is really kind of doing a full court press and hindering a lot of these preparedness channels and everything else. So why they would want to do that, we don't know, but it's just what they do. So there's, a good amount going on. Not as much as yesterday. Tuesdays into Wednesdays tend to be kind of the most chill day of the week. So not a great amount going on, but enough that we have a nice show. Thanks for the 5x5, friends. But yeah, hopefully this new time is working for you. We're getting into the swing of things. I kind of like it. I'm getting more sleep. I'm not completely dead tired when I'm doing this thing at the end of the day. So I think all things considered, it's pretty good. So let's get started on your crisis report for March 26, 2025. We're going to be talking about the text message thing in the Atlantic and other stuff. So here we go. If the SAR scans of the Kafir pyramid are accurate, they show how deep the pillars extend beneath the bedrock. This is according to the new visuals and scannings of the, I believe, the Giza pyramids. They're showing huge underground cities. So a lot of people have been talking about that. No, I will not be doing a aliens underneath us video or something like that. That's the thing. Like, they want us to do these, alert, you should do this now. I can't. It's really tough for me to do those videos. It's really tough for me to put like a breaking on everything. Sure, I got the little red graphic on the beginning of the thumbnail, but I can't. I don't know. There's a element of dishonesty when you're sitting there and making something seem like it's going crazy. We try to be like nice and even keeled here, really do. That's why like this guy came on and was like, way to do the fear mongering news. Am I fear mongering here? I'm just going out and getting information from different news sources and putting it together so you guys can strap on the earbuds and like make your breakfast. Like I'm not. I mean, am I? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm doing the "you're all gonna die." I think we're at war. I think there's a fifth gen war kind of going on all around us, and you should be acting accordingly. But I don't know. I saw that and I was like, yeah, I'm not telling you to buy like bug out bags. I'm just telling you about blue spirals from SpaceX and the Giza stuff and some other things, and how France and Europe are kind of getting prepped for war. So I don't know. But yeah, there was a blue spiral in the sky above France. They said it was a SpaceX rocket. France has modified its official advice to nationals traveling to the United States, warning that they must now state their gender assigned at birth on their visa. GOP has moved to authorize Trump to use the full force of the American military against 9 of the largest migrant criminal groups that have been wreaking havoc on American cities, according to Fox. World Athletics approves cheek swab to determine if an athlete is biologically female. So, okay. United States announces sanctions on 3 Iranian officials for ex-FBI agent's death. This is kind of more domestic stuff right now. Trump administration is closing the Office of Long Rona Research and Practice. Trump administration is closing the Office of Long Rona Research and Practice. It's a doubler. Bill advancing through Florida state legislature aims to ban geoengineering and weather modification, effectively prohibiting experimental technology designed to mitigate climate change effects. I think we should just let the sky be the sky, I don't know. I don't think we need to go in there. And whenever human beings try to mitigate things, it never works out well when it comes to like the Earth and planet. CIA Director John Ratcliffe and DNI Tulsi Gabbard testified before Congress that they had not used any app containing classified information. I think that whole story is being blown out of proportion. Some dudes talking about blowing up, some Yemeni Houthis. A staffer messed up and put that Goldberg dude in there. How that happened, whether it was on purpose or not, I don't know. But, I mean, they weren't giving major information. But, of course, it's a story for the people on the legacy media on the left, so they're going to freak out and go after it. Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen, the United States is putting unacceptable pressure on Greenland. Frederiksen also said that President Trump is serious and he is determined when he wants Greenland. Yes, he does. He wants the minerals and the strategic area of it. Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan is scheduled to meet with the United States Secretary of State Marco Rubio today at GMT 6:30. Russia says it is open to new Black Sea shipping safety agreement, potentially a step towards a ceasefire, but only if the U.S. orders Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to comply. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov stated that only direct instructions from Washington could be given the Russians the guarantees it needs. Given the sad experience of past agreements with Kiev, the guarantees can only come from an order from Washington. Lavrov also said U.S. alone could stop Ukrainian attacks on civilian and energy infrastructure. Sudan's rapid support forces of the RSF will lead a new parallel government with the SPLM and headed by Abdelaziz Al-Hilu, deputy sources say. RSF will take about 40% of the positions, SPLM-N. Around 30% of the remaining 30% will go to the Revolutionary Front, Delilah Burma's Umma Party faction, and others. Disputes over the presidency had stalled the announcement. A political declaration signed in Nairobi on 22nd February laid the groundwork for the alliance and government in RSF-held areas. So hopefully Sudan will chill out. That place has been a major problem. 2 fuel tankers, one with 100,000 metric tons of crude oil and another with 5,600 tons of gasoline, arrived in Syria's Banias port. Origin of the new shipments was not disclosed. Kamil Sharif Abbas, perpetrator of the Tadaman massacre in Damascus' Turkmen neighborhood, has been captured by Syrian military intelligence after 12 years. Canadian Prime Minister Carney promises unprecedented acceleration of investment in armed forces if he wins the April 28th election. European Council President Antonio Costa, if Russia considers that Ukraine's borders are just a line on a map, why should it respect any other country's borders? Really getting prepped for war over there in Europe. President Trump's reaffirmed support for National Security Advisor Mike Waltz after the mistakenly added a journalist to a secret group chat discussing Houthi strike plans. Waltz has learned a lesson and he's a good man. It was the only glitch in 2 months and not a serious one. The attack remained perfectly successful. U.S. intelligence report on China says most comprehensive and robust military threat to U.S. says they aim to lead AI by 2030. Dominates critical materials supply chains, likely to increase pressure on Taiwan, including potential military action. Some are saying this year in the military action. Assertive moves in South and East China Seas heighten conflict risks. Russia is learning key lessons from Ukraine war despite no total victory, developing nuclear-capable satellite with devastating consequences alongside China eyeing Greenland's resources and strategic location. Iran is not currently pursuing nuclear weapons, we hope. U.S. intelligence report says China, Russia, and North Korea's alignment is irreversible, and even if the war in Ukraine ends. United States gave Syria last list of conditions for limited sanctions relief. Senior U.S. official met Syrian FM to discuss sanctions, first high-level contact since Trump era. United States has demanded include removal of foreign fighters, help locating Austin Tice. The U.S. demands include ending the presence of foreign fighters in senior government roles, cooperation on counterterrorism, destruction of remaining chemical weapons, appointing a liaison to help locate missing U.S. journalist Austin Tice. In exchange for fulfilling the demands, the U.S. offered unspecified sanctions relief with no clear timeline attached. United States and Russia agreed on a meeting in Riyadh to ensure safe shipping and exclude the use of force in the Black Sea, the White House has reported. The U.S. will help Russia restore access to the world market for exports of agricultural products and fertilizer. White House said that Washington and Kiev have agreed to develop a mechanism to prohibit strikes on Russia and Ukrainian energy infrastructure facilities. Also said the United States and Ukraine agreed to exclude the use of force against commercial vessels in the Black Sea. United States Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard said there was no classified materials and that was shared on the Signal chat. CIA Director Ratcliffe and Director of National Intelligence Gabbard claim that they have not participated in any Signal group messaging that relates to any classified information at all. Ratcliffe also said, my communications, to be clear, in a Signal message group were entirely permissible and lawful and did not include classified information. So some people think they did it on purpose to plant messaging to the world because they couldn't do it. And if you look at and read it, it is just very, I don't know. It's not the kind of stuff you would say to people in some kind of a back area text message group. So it's just kind of weird. Nana's polling shows the Conservative Party doing best with 50 to 59-year-olds and young people, while the Liberal Party is now reliant on boomers and the older in Canada. United States is suspending indefinitely the lifting of visas for Romanian citizens. Lukashenko has become the president of Belarus for the 7th time. IDF, a short while ago, the IDF struck military capabilities that remain in the Syrian military base of Tadmor and T4. IDF will continue to act in order to remove any threat posed to the citizens of the State of Israel. Arab channels are writing of unconfirmed reports from many Yemeni opposition groups about the death of Abdul Malik Badr al-Din al-Houthi, the leader of the Houthi terrorist movement in Yemen. That is not true. It was a it's not true. The guy's still alive. Tonight in the cities of Turkey, a regime of terror. So why did Israel attack the Palmyra and T4 Titus airports in Syria once again last night? This is a big one because of what's coming later. Turkey is planning on building a Ramstein-sized military base in Palmyra. Syria's Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, or HTS-led interim government handed over Titus Air Base while Turkish bombs rained on Kurdish civilians in the north. Neo-Ottoman claws just got longer and closer to Israel, and it is now confirmed. They've got a bunch of them. They were given to the Turkish. So you can see some potential problems going on there in Syria. U.S. fighter jets have conducted at least 8 strikes on the past 24 hours, targeting locations in Saada, Sana'a provinces. 1 person was killed as a result of these attacks. The details of the strikes are as follows. In Saada, airstrikes near Saada City, specifically in the Sahar and Sakin districts. In Sana'a, a residential building was hit in the Asr area of the Molen district. Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen said the United States is putting unacceptable pressure on Greenland. Yep. On the Face the Nation on Sunday, U.S. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz said the Houthi threat in the Red Sea has forced 75% of U.S. flag shipping to redirect from the Suez Canal route to the much longer route around the Cape of Good Hope. British police showed up at 2 a.m. at the home of a woman with her autistic son to ask her to delete some videos posted on social media because they have caused anxiety in someone else. I have got that video and post over on SubscribeStar and Locals. It's pretty crazy, and it really does show how insane Europe is getting with the Digital Services Act, or basically the You Can't Post a Nasty Meme Act. And they will come in and they will literally throw you in jail if you say something unkind to someone on social media. I mean, it is Orwellian to say the least. American operation in Yemen. U.S. Air Force planes are now attacking Houthi terrorist targets around the country. 4 additional B-2A Spirit stealth bombers, this is a big story, were deployed to Diego Garcia Air Force, bringing the total number of these bombers at the base to 7. Increase of significant, as is constitutes a third of the U.S. Air Force B-2 fleet, which is normally based at Whitman Air Force Base in Missouri. Reinforcement follows the previous deployment of 3 B-2 aircraft to Diego Garcia on March 24, 2025, and coincides with the U.S. military operations against Houthi rebels in Yemen. There is a NOTAM that is coming, which I'm about to read, and it all lines up with basically bombing the crap out of a certain country in the Middle East that they don't want to have a nuclear program. Military NOTAM issued for Diego Garcia confirms 2 key ramp slots, B1 and B2, closed until May 1st, suggesting a sustained U.S. air deployment on the UK-controlled island. Timeline overlaps with the end of Trump's 2-month ultimatum to Iran, raising further questions about the true purpose behind the sudden U.S. bomber buildup in the Indian Ocean. They're saying that pretty soon someone's going to get lit up. Chewing gum releases microplastics into the mouth, according to researchers. White House says that security leak is now a coordinated distraction attempt. NASA reveals astronauts' return would not have happened without Trump's intervention, according to Fox. Appeals court allows Trump administration to suspend approval of new refugees amid lawsuit halting admissions program. Trump signed an executive order on election integrity, including cutting down on illegal immigrants on voter rolls. We covered that one last night on PrepperNow. Trump signs a presidential memorandum requiring the immediate declassification of all FBI files relating to the Crossfire Hurricane investigation. That was the FBI one that basically got all up in the grill of Trump over Russia. Speaking of which, Russia and the United States have agreed that a 30-day energy truce between Moscow and Kiev, announced by Vlad last week, applies to pipelines, power stations, and refineries, Kremlin said on Tuesday. Vance is traveling to Greenland on Friday. Palestinians took to the streets what appears to be the largest anti-Hamas protests in Gaza since 10/7/23. Or 24, excuse me. Yeah, 23 is when it happened. 24 is when they protested. South Korea struggles to contain deadly wildfires. Pretty wild videos over there. Hundreds of troops will start conducting surveillance across the southern border, putting them on for the first time front lines, President Trump's immigration crackdown. 3 teen sisters were arrested for trying to kill their mother because she turned the Wi-Fi off, according to a Texas sheriff. Good Lord. Y'all need some Jesus. That is just, I don't know. If I get to the point where my kids try to take my life because I turn off the Wi-Fi, yeah, I don't know. Heaven help us all. Kids got too many screens, folks. We got to get our kids off the screens. It's ruining them. Trump signs executive action acquiring proof of citizenship to register to vote in federal elections and demanding that all ballots be received by Election Day, because it just makes sense. FCC rejects CBS's bid to dismiss complaint over controversial 60 Minutes Kamala Harris video. Trump administration is set to freeze $120 million to grant funding for Planned Parenthood. Trump signed an executive order to strengthen the election security. It cuts federal funding to states that refuse to implement security measures. deploying DHS resources to prevent illegal immigrants from voting, adding a citizenship question to the voting for the first time, directing the DOJ to aggressively prosecute election crimes, especially in states that fail to comply with federal election integrity laws. I have no problem with any of those. They're all good. CDC cancels $11 billion Rona funding allocated for state health departments. Alina Habba issued a warning to anyone named on the he didn't kill himself list, asserting that those involved will be prosecuted. Yes, we still have to use code for that man's name. Dr. Jay Bhattacharya has been confirmed as director of NIH. That is good. Democrat influencer Harry Sisson has been dropped by the DNC-affiliated talent agency, Palette Management, and recent accusations of abusing women. They have a talent agency. That's the problem right there. They have a talent agency. Maybe you should focus less on like trying to make it so it's an entertainment value to your political party, and focus more on like policy and just fixing crap that's gone wrong. Right there, a talent agency for Democrat influencers. Good Lord. Egg prices in the U.S., and I know both sides do it. I know, I get it, two sides, whatever. Egg prices in U.S. have now plunged more than 63% in the last month, largest monthly decline in history. That is good. Ukraine and the U.S. agreed that third parties could oversee a potential truce. There is a coordinated effort to distract from Trump's successful actions and make America's enemy pay a price, according to the White House and the text message thing. Denmark will start drafting women into the military from next year, according to Bloomberg. 62% of French support boycotting U.S. products and services. Senator Adam Schiff is calling for every member of the Trump administration to be fired over their actions that jeopardize the mission in Yemen. Following today's sudden mass protest by Gazans against Hamas in the northern part of the Gaza Strip, clans in the southern Gaza Strip now announced that they will also take to the streets tomorrow against Hamas. Columbia University students for justice in Palestine they just magically reactivated their dormant Instagram account 3 minutes before the 10/7/23 events. Interesting. Good timing. Assets moving into the Middle East are unprecedented, to say the least. Soon there will be 2 aircraft carriers supported by cruisers and destroyers, F-35 stealth fighter, multi-role aircrafts, F-16, Hornets, bombers, include B-2s, including enough U.S. Special Forces to conduct an ingress and egress mission, is heating up and looks like the deployment is for both Yemen and Iran. Trump is not playing around this time. That is correct. Something's going to happen. They're going for it, and they know if they're going to do it, they got to do it basically right now. Folks, I got to get you to hit that like button. We're getting Borgerinoed over here like all the other prepper channels. Just going out and clicking that button does a lot for us. We really appreciate it. New U.S. intelligence reports suggest that China will very likely apply coercive action against Taiwan in 2025. China is advancing military capabilities for a cross-strait campaign. Confirmation from San Francisco air traffic control of at least 3 additional B-2 stealth bombers cleared to destination Diego Garcia from Whiteman Air Force Base. They'll be entering Western Australia in some hours, where the B-2s will undergo refueling. Thank you very much. See what they do? It's called ratio. YouTube ratios things. If the likes go up, then they allow the numbers to go up. If you look on all the Prepper Channel things, it's a 2-to-1. So it's like if they have 1,000 people that have viewed a video, they'll get 200 likes. They actually did. It's a computer system. Houthis are about to find out soon. Significant buildup is happening in Diego Garcia. At least 5 United States Air Force B-2 Spirits, 7 C-17A Globemaster 3s have arrived in the last 3 days. Current en route to the island. For reference, Diego Garcia is the red pin on the map. It is in the Indian Ocean, for those that don't know. Yemen reported last night 17 airstrikes by the U.S. military in the Saada province and 2 additional attacks on the Amran province. You see how the numbers have gone up? See on the numbers? Isn't that weird? I'm telling you. I got them all figured out. I know what they do. Erdogan, tonight, we will not allow terrorists and terrorists to take over the streets, and we will allow how to defeat them. It's all computer system, friends. Everything. Release al-Qaeda terrorists onto the streets so that they clash with protesters. These are Islamists in the style of Jelani, ISIS. He used them in Syria, and now he's using them in Turkey, and he will. Defense Minister Israel Katz has approved the Gaza division's new battle plans and warned that if Hamas continues to reject hostage deals, it will face escalating consequences, more territory lost, more operatives eliminated, and total destruction of the infrastructure. Hostage families are suing anti-Israel groups like Students for Justice in Palestine, claiming they had prior knowledge of a 10/7 attack. Columbia University's Students for Justice in Palestine announced, "We are back," in an Instagram post just one before the deadly assault. First pilot program to encourage immigration from the Gaza Strip began yesterday. 100 Palestinian Gazans left Gaza to work in Indonesia, apparently in the construction industry. The project is designed to encourage thousands of Gazans to voluntarily migrate to Indonesia for construction jobs, provided the pilot proves successful. Overnight, the Houthis claim to have launched missiles and drones at the USS Truman strike group, along with drones toward Tel Aviv, and say the operation was successful. An explosion rocked an ammunition depot in the town of Borzulnia in the central part of the Czech Republic, Czech radio says. Facility stored but also produced large caliber ammunition, which was, among the other things, supplied for use in Ukraine. In addition, there were facilities for the repair and modernization of military equipment. I can confirm that there was an explosion. A fire alarm was sounded in Vendula Horakova, representative of the local fire department. An explosion was heard from the premises of Polizia Storjnia, I can't say this stuff, in this whatever region. Morning before 9 o'clock, one person is apparently injured. Firefighters have declared a third level of the alarm and are ensuring the evacuation of people. STV Group plant in Polica produces large caliber ammunition and is engaged in the repair of military equipment and the supply of spare parts. Totally random that during a whole bunch of war going on, an ammunition depot in the Czech Republic just blew up. New Syrian government hands over T4 military base in Palmyra to Turkey. Turkish newspaper reports this is big. Base will be part as large as the American Ramstein base in Germany. Ankara has notified all major powers, including the UN, and stated that any act of aggression against it will be met with force. That's literally targeting Israel in that post. Throughout history, Palmyra has been in the crossroads of caravan routes leading from east to west, north to south. Development has most alarmed Israel. Various Israeli news and commentary indicate that Turkey's presence in Syria poses a threat to Israel, that Ankara could move its forces from the north to Palmyra at any time, that Turkey will strengthen its power in the region. The need for Israel to negotiate with the U.S. to stop this process is emphasized, as well as the possibility of Russia using Russia as a counterweight to Turkey in the context it is proposed to support the preservation of Russian military bases in Syria, that is Tartus. This is a problem because this is what was a couple days ago, the video about Israel going against Turkey. It is that base that is the big source of contention. United States Air Force B-2 bombers are deployed to Diego Garcia Air Base for launching bunker buster bombs on Iran's secret missile underground tunnel systems. New NOTAM was released. More B-2s will be deployed soon. New missile system, U.S. missile system deployed to the Philippines puts key Chinese military and commercial hubs within striking distance, according to the Wall Street Journal. Last year, the United States Army moved the Typhoon missile system, which can fire missiles as far as 1,200 miles, a base on Luzon Island in the northern Philippines. In case of war with Russia, Poland cannot defend itself for more than 14 days, said the head of the Polish National Security Bureau. Ammunition stock of the Polish armed forces has been stored for a week or two. Does not apply to all types of weapons, saying that the Polish army has various equipment, including old types, cheap, and the National Security Bureau of Poland emphasized. They don't have enough to fight. EU preparing for war? Well, authorities are calling on everyone to stock up on food and water for 3 days, Politico cited. The document outlines possible scenarios from war to cyber attacks and deadly diseases to floods caused by climate change. And finally, the Chinese Foreign Ministry has urged the U.S. to abandon its hegemonic mentality after being labeled the top military and cyber threats. Spokesperson Guo Zhongkun accused the U.S. of spreading the China threat theory to contain Beijing and called for an end to support for Taiwan independence. So, there you have it. If you have not hit that like button, please do so. Friends, hopefully this new time is working for you. No, I'm not going to get the play that I do at night. Yes, I will get suppressed. Yes, they are suppressing people. Yes, they do all this crap. You got to hit the like buttons. You got to support and leave a comment and all that. You got to fight this stuff. All of those channels are all seeing this. It's all being done all over the place. That's why you'll notice some channels are doing different things. They're just trying to roll the punches because evidently Tube is changing things up here and not to the benefit of the prepper and intel community. So hit the buttons and stuff. I appreciate you being here. God bless you all. Check out the links in the description. Join us on Twitter, Xmind, Gab, Truth Social, or even consider becoming a member here. That is a great way to support. And also, you've got Subscribestar and Locals where I can share a video of police kicking down doors at 2 a.m. in Britain because someone posted a nasty meme. And yeah, very terrible stuff. God bless. We'll see you on the next one.